decent plan, to be honest.
He did. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
well, the thing is, the idea of like he found some way to like keep going after death after he was defeated, and his ring of power would corrupt anybody who used it. You know, to always be wanting to come back to him.
I know, but it never
It's just,
did.
it's just the yeah, but it kept. Oh, it's only it's a ring. It can't really. It
I
could
know,
try
but they
rolling,
sent out
but
ring wraiths and all these guys to hunt it down. They kept failing. All it's like, Jesus.
yeah, but that's not Sauron's fault. It's not his fault.
By design, the ring doesn't work too well, but that's okay.
Well, he went. You know something? The riding horses. That's pretty crap. I know. I'll give him some dragony things, and work a bit better. He kept getting better.
Anyway, let's get going.
He almost won. Remember that.
Okay. Here's Smudcast number 280 of Villains Too Stupid to Win, Episode 8, Sauron. Now, obviously, this is a series of episodes from Media Zealot, a YouTuber with over 100k subs. I'm not sure why we're doing the Sauron episode, but that's probably the only one that was recommended, I'm assuming. And these are all good, fun videos. They're not deeply analytical. They're not deeply controversial. They don't have crazy politics. They're just fun tearing into villains because they're so dumb. And if the villains were even remotely intelligent, they would probably have beaten the heroes off several times over. But then you wouldn't have much of a story. You got to show the faults in the villain's plan. And the problem with Sauron, as far as I remember, he's more or less a disembodied voice. He's just somewhere in his castle far, far away. And then the focus shifts not to Sauron, but to Saruman, who is the evil wizard, friend of Gandalf fellow, and all the machinations of all the corrupted humans and the orcs and all the other forces of evil that want to take the ring back and kill the humans and kill everything else, because evil is powerful and evil has all the power and has to stop all the good people from prospering and all that good old Middle Earth fighting stuff, which I never really got into.
Fun.
Honestly, I couldn't read the third book. I got to the third book and I was like, this is too much. I can't take it anymore.
Oh God. Smud, get off the stream, go and read the third book, and then come back.
Honestly, I must have been 8 or 9. I just like, this is so long. Can we get to? We're at Mount Doom. How long does it take to get in Mount? What is happening? And then we go back to the war outside. It was like, oh my God, get on with it, please. So.
Oh dear, you sound like all those people who complained at the end of Return of the King, the movie, go, no, it's too long. It's too long. This is too boring.
I sat through 2 books. The second book was the most entertaining. I don't remember why. I just remembered it was good enough for me to keep going. There was enough stuff in it for me to go, oh, this is neat. And
yeah,
I just liked, even though Tom Bombadil was in the first book, I think, the Two Towers I thought it was more interesting. I don't know. Maybe there was more war. I can't recall. I really can't recall. This was a long, long time ago. So it never, after maybe a third into the third book, I was just falling asleep. Like every time on my bed, I would wake up, the book would be mushed. I'd be like, whatever. I don't care.
Oh, just put it to one side, get your Playboy magazine out. Yeah, this is much more interesting.
Back when I was 8, yeah. Jeez. So
Don't lie.
I was 8. I was in grade 3, and I was not having. Well, no, there was other. Grade 3 and 4 was a lot of fun for me. I was doing a lot of sports, a lot of track and field, whatever an 8-year-old could do at that point in time in their life, of course. But playing chess, I was just involved in as much things as possible. So the joys of being young.
8 and 9, it's like, back when you could run around for an hour and not get stitch.
Okay. Oh boy,
when your back didn't click at a place all the time.
Oh, well. Here's Vladimir Dragunov. Thanks, Vlad. Don't work at FedEx Express. Team lead trying to hide my time card so we can stay longer after we finished early. Yeah, not happening. Oh, that sounds like crap. What kind of a boss is that? That's shit.
Sounds like a cunt.
Yeah, if you got to leave early and there's nothing coming in, get going, man. Get off early. It's awesome.
You got a union? Just talk to them if anything happens.
Yeah, this happens in almost every not every industry, but almost every one that I've been in. If there's nothing happening, they'd rather just send you home.
Yeah.
And save time on
I remember
everything else.
Yeah. When I used to work for the local council and local government, we used to have to work Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Just in case anyone called up. But if no one had called the main office by midday, everyone would leave. Because after 12 o'clock Christmas Eve, no one's going to be doing anything at all. Everyone's getting ready for parties and stuff.
I remember my first
job.
Used
to leave.
My first job was actually I had to work the night shift on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and I never signed up for it. And I said, "This is not my schedule. Why did you give this to me?" I never took it because no one was working. Like, there's only one guy, and all he ever does is work night shifts. I worked one time with him, and it was great because nothing happened. And this was a tech support job, so I was just taking calls from people that were. I was doing tech support for T-Mobile, and.
Oh God.
Yeah, well, no, Americans are pretty awesome. Believe it or not, they were really friendly. I was there for almost.
Oh yeah, no. T-Mobile is just. I just remember my dad had a contract with them and he didn't like it.
Oh yeah, their phones aren't that great. But I never signed up for the Christmas thing, so I never went. And they ended up firing me a month later because they had to figure out who was working when. And I was like, well, this is just a part. This is just a job to get a job. Like, I didn't really want to be here. And I'm like, you want me to sign a form saying I didn't work? It's like, yeah, I didn't work intentionally, but just so the responsibility was on me, and because of that, they had to fire me. I'm like, okay, whatever, guys. That's I don't care. Yeah. I'm out of here anyway. Going back to school.
My first paying job, because I did a lot of voluntary as a teenager. I was 18, and I was working delivering beer to pubs and nightclubs. And I had to do the Christmas Eve shift.
Oh wow!
And we started at 9 o'clock Christmas Eve morning. We got paid double time.
Yeah.
To work till 3 p.m. And we finished at 3 p.m. And then it was like, the bars and clubs haven't bought enough alcohol for Christmas Eve drinking. We need more. So me and my driver, because obviously I was just a driver's mate to help him unload stuff. We said, yeah, sure, we'll carry on. Anyway, I think we finished about 7 o'clock Christmas morning, and we were going into pubs and clubs on Christmas Eve while it was heaving with people trying to carry crates of beer to like the bars and stuff. It was insane.
Double time. Oh, great! That's amazing.
Yeah, double time the whole way. And I was like, Jesus. I was like 18.
That's pretty good feeling.
Yeah. I was like, great. This is great. This is going to pay like for everything next year.
Got to get that beer for Christmas, man. I don't know who the hell's going out to bars and pubs on Christmas Day, but people do. People lifestyles like that.
Yeah, well, people have in the UK. It's a big thing to have like Christmas meals in pubs.
Really?
Yeah, they have a lot of pubs open to have Christmas meals.
We do have a place called I guess you can call it a bar pub. It's called the Canadiana in Toronto, and they have turkey Easter meals. They have Thanksgiving meals. They have Christmas meals as well. And I have some family members who used to do that a few years ago.
Yeah.
And it's just been there for so long that I wouldn't say this is a standard thing in Toronto or Canada, but there are those places that service the community, and they will plan Christmas dinners there. So instead of the family, doing the whole thing from home, they just go to a bar and pub, and boom, they take care of all the food and drink and music and all that stuff. And great time for everyone. It saves you money. I don't know if it saves you money, but it certainly saves you time and organization. So
it saves up on the wasted food, to be honest. Because whenever a lot of people in the UK, whenever they buy food in for Christmas, you've still got enough food left until at least June time.
Really?
To eat up. Yeah, I'm still eating and drinking beer and food that my dad bought me for Christmas.
Okay, it's crazy.
Seriously, I'm still going through it. It's all in date, all perfectly fine. It's all in date till next year.
Oh,
that's
okay.
how long. I'm just like, I can't keep eating this.
All right, here's one more from Vladimir Dragunov. Not even Amazon pulled stuff like that. Oh boy, don't even talk about Amazon. Amazon's a whole other ballgame of hiring and working and automation and all kinds of weird. Well, when you're as big as Amazon, obviously you're going to get a lot of stories. So it's not necessarily because Amazon as a whole is bad. It's just because it's so big.
Yeah.
There's bound to be some bad supervisors or problems with the service.
I went for a couple of training days at Amazon to get a job when I was about 20, and I was meant to work on a Friday, and I rang in a couple of days before because someone needed to go to the hospital with my grandma, and I was the only person who was available. And I said I'd gladly work, like swap with someone for a Saturday, or swap a day. So I'd still do like the day, the hours I was meant to do. But people at Amazon said, "No, you're fired. Get out. We don't want you."
Wow.
I was like, "Yeah, fine, whatever. I don't care."
That's weird.
If I'm offering to do another day, like I'm not trying to get a day off and like not work the thing. I was like saying I would gladly do the next day or something. Because it was a Friday and Saturday were like the training days, so I said I could easily join the other group for another training day, but they said no. It's like, oh well, I don't want to work for you then, if this is going to be your policy.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay. Anyway, this is going to be a 25-minute video. These are good videos. These are fun to watch. Mm-hmm. They're quick in terms of pacing, not in terms of length. Lengths, they're it's 25 minutes. But fun to watch, even if you don't know Lord of the Rings. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan. I remember we all watched these movies a long time ago, so a little murky on the details. But
yeah, it's like the really good ones with Martin Freeman and oh wait, no, sorry, those are different ones.
Those are different movies, yeah. Okay. Anyway, here is Stupid Villains, Episode 8, Sauron.
Welcome to another episode of Villains Too Stupid to Win, and special thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video.
Yes.
This time we'll be looking at one of the biggest bads in all of fictional history. It's Sauron from the Middle-earth cinematic universe. And please note,
the Middle-earth cinematic universe.
Is that a thing?
No.
It's just Peter Jackson, guys. It's all. He's just making movies.
It's just the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and then the Hobbit trilogy. It's not the Middle-earth cinematic universe.
He's just having fun. I bet he's just having a good laugh.
I hope so. No, I've never heard it talked to like that. It's just like, I was like, wait, what? Okay.
Well, until they release the Silmarillion or all these other small short story books or novellas from Tolkien, I don't think there's going to be any more.
Yeah, unless they release the Lord of the Rings Rogue One or something, I'm not going to call it an extended universe.
All right.
Series they said couldn't be made, based on J.R.R. Tolkien's beloved fantasy universe realized on an epic scale never seen before. Jackson sacrificing much of Tolkien's original story in the name of creating a more suitable experience.
Joke,
yet the result was still so masterfully executed, anyone but the stuffiest of Tolkien purists would surely acknowledge it's a cinematic triumph.
It ruins it!
Yep, it's going to be pretty hard to criticize this thing, and I almost feel bad that I'm picking on Peter Jackson content 2 videos in a row. Almost.
What about second breakfast?
Firstly, I will admit they did manage to put New Zealand on the map this time, and in the process created a massive tourism windfall that continues to this day.
Yeah, guys, if you don't know New Zealand, Australia, they're all very beautiful places to visit. If you have the time and money and inclination to go there. Obviously not nowadays, but still, when things clear up.
I can't go. I got too many death threats from New Zealanders.
Oh yeah, on Twitter.
on Twitter. Yeah.
Okay, well, I've had plenty of family and friends who've gone, and they know how great it is. So, yeah, no.
Yeah, I've got family in Australia, so I'll go there instead.
All right, good stuff.
With more money from the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies than the Tolkien estate. And just like our dairy industry, we've been milking it for all it's worth. We were so committed to getting the Hobbit series filmed here, the powers that be colluded to bring in additional generous tax breaks for the producers. PJ got his knighthood while the peasants at the coalface got their rights eroded thanks to some union-busting legislation. Yeah, Smeagol isn't the only one who's been corrupted by this thing. Enter the Dark Lord Sauron, a wannabe Satan and a villain in waiting, desperate for someone to put a ring on that finger so he can make Middle-earth his bitch. Yes! Sauron is the ultimate in absentee leaders, often spoken of but rarely seen, appearing in the flesh during flashbacks in a Return of the King deleted scene, but only revealing himself in the Third Age timeline as a notorious Tower Eye and a demonic apparition. We don't need an army to defeat this guy, we need an exorcist. Or a proper wizard.
I'm always kind of curious, how does he actually acquire the ring? Like, what is he going to do? Like, does he have a body? Can he touch stuff? Like, what is... How does that work?
I think once he does get the ring back, I think he does get a body. He will get a body or something. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of like the inspiration that Neil Gaiman got from that, because when he wrote the Sandman series, he created the concept of dividing your physical form or powers into gems, and that's what Dream did. And he had like 8 or 9 gemstones. They all broke. So because they broke, all the power returned to Dream of the Endless. And it was this weird sort of... This reminds me of some other stories that involved people putting their essence into other objects and then throwing them across the world. Why did they do that?
Actually, now that you say that, there does seem to be a bit of a... Because, I'm bringing this up, aren't I? Fucking hell. In Harry Potter, Voldemort does that as well with his essence.
Really?
Yeah, the 7 Horcruxes or something. But yeah, I think to be honest, I think Zach would be a good person to actually ask that question, because he does know a lot about the Lord of the Rings.
Well,
lore.
We have a lot of LOTR lore guys on the Smudcast who haven't been able to communicate today, but they would share all kinds of crazy bits. Like Dunn would know a lot. I'm sure we have a bunch of people in the normal Smudcast who would know a lot, but they're busy or they have a headache or whatever reason they got. I don't know. They like to keep busy today. So
yeah. But yeah, I think when it comes down to like the ring, it's just going to give him ultimate power. So I don't think it really matters whether he gets his body back or not.
The idea is that he gets the ring, the war is over, and he can just do whatever he wants. Yeah. So right now he's like kind of strong, but not strong enough. So
he knows how to tap into the ring's true power. While everyone else is just.
Yes, it's a weird thing to talk about. The one ring that can rule them all, and you're like, how, when, what does it do?
But here's the thing: when the only person who knows what it can actually do is Sauron, everyone else doesn't. Everyone else is just making guesses, really.
They're getting their minds warped when they touch it. They're scared of it. They want it. They love it. It's like, what does this thing do?
It's like, it's just like wearable crystal meth.
It is. Yeah, it's a drug. It's pretty much. I want this drug that makes me feel crazy, and I don't want to give it up. Like, okay. Oh, and it makes me invisible. That's about it. I'm like, okay. Except the ring. Except the ring
So,
itself. The ring just flies in the air. This person wearing it.
oh yeah, yeah.
Makes the wearer invisible, except the ring itself. Like what? Well, that's kind of silly.
Well,
Just flying ring to the house. What the hell?
yeah. I just
Steven, stop that.
considering what happens in other places of Middle Earth, it's like a flying ring's not the weirdest thing you see.
Okay. You go into an alternate dimension while your worst enemies hunt you down. It's like, don't wear it. Like, don't ever wear it.
Yes. But it also raises questions of like, did Gollum actually wear it, or did he just keep it in his hand? As in, like, just hold on to it.
It's kind of weird. All the stories, and like, if you had a ring of whatever ability that would make you invisible, but when you put it on, a bunch of evil death knights came chasing you to kill you. It's like, I'm never going to put this thing on ever again. So.
Yeah. But then again, the addictive nature of the ring overrides your brain, doesn't it?
Oh, well, you know.
Plus, Frodo still puts it on in Mount Doom.
Did they talk about throwing it to the bottom of an ocean? I'm quite sure they did. And that would not end the war. It would just delay it because Sauron would never be defeated.
Yeah.
Because you need the ring to kill him. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's got... yeah.
Failing that, you could just find and destroy Sauron's favourite little trinket. Point 1. Sauron forges a ring of questionable effectiveness, putting himself at great risk. So thousands of years ago, 19 great rings of power were crafted and given to the lords of elves, dwarves, and men. But a power-hungry Sauron crafted a master ring in secret designed to control the others, and in doing so poured in a great deal of his essence and power, forever linking his fate to that of the ring. It's the one ring to rule them all.
Yeah, but you gotta ask him, why did he do that? If he put a lot of his power, like, what was the thought behind it? Why couldn't he make all those rings? Was he the guy who made all the rings in the first place, or was it multiple people? I'm not too sure about that.
I've heard differing things. Like, one person's told me it was Sauron who made all the rings and tricked people, but then I've heard another person who says that he's only made the one ring.
And somehow it controls them all, like some sort of master ring, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, to be honest with you, that would be a good way of taking power, finding a way to corrupt other people.
I'm trying to think of like the control chip that Miranda kept bitching about in Mass Effect. It's like, oh, I can control you if I put it in. It's like, okay. Why wasn't this a design in the first place? That it was some sort of control mechanism. He would have put in all the rings in the first place, and then master plan time. Boom! I control the world.
Yeah, but I think he did do that. Hence, why the first war. He did put his plan into action. It was only stopped by the last. What was it? Like the last resistance thing, which we see at the start of Fellowship in the movie.
Okay, there's so much to read in Lord of the Rings that it's hard to.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to just give like Sauron a lot of like. My knowledge of Sauron is a bit hit and miss because stuff that happened before Lord of the Rings, I'm a bit.
Yeah, it doesn't focus on him after he's mentioned and talked about here. And there.
Inquisitor Matthias says, was it Celebrimbor? I hope I'm not pronouncing it wrong. A character in the Silmarillion was tricked to make the ring. That's what Inquisitor Matthias has just told me.
Oh, is that from the games? What's his name? The half.
Yeah, he's in the Shadow of War games.
Yeah.
But I think what it was in the book. What is it called? The one begins with S. How do you pronounce it properly? The Silmarillion. Is that how you pronounce it?
The Silmarillion. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I've always looked at that word. I don't know how to pronounce it. But I think he was mentioned in that book. But from my knowledge, Sauron started his actual master plan before the events of Lord of the Rings, and if it hadn't been for getting his fingers cut off, I mean, what it shows in the movie, he would have won.
Okay, so he's this
and stuff.
magical manipulator jeweler, and no one knows he's gonna start controlling people's minds, the other people who have the rings, which would be kind of weird. But okay.
Yeah, no, I think it's because like before he became Sauron, he was incredibly charismatic and charming and could trick people into just believing what he says. So because he wasn't all, I think he was just supposed to be like an elf that's got twisted, sort of, or something like that.
All right.
So yeah, so he was meant to be quite high up. And so he's a master of trickery and stuff. So he tricked a lot of the people into believing he was on their side, and then he did all this in secret, and then started his master plan, was winning, and it wasn't until like the last united front of men, elves, and stuff that fought him at Mount Doom that they managed to delay his fight. Delay him taking over, because Lord of the Rings is just him building to continue where his plan last left off. So
okay,
that's what I think.
So Sauron taught all these elven dudes how to make rings that sell him.
Not how to make them. I think he got somebody to make the rings and tricked him into making the one ring.
Right.
Or something. I don't know.
So all these other rings were somehow linked to the one ring, and they were all sort of, I don't know, focused towards it or dependent on it somehow. That way, if someone were to use that ring, they could control and dominate the minds of others, and they're the rulers of the land, so they would effectively control the land. All right. So that would mean that if
it's not a bad plan.
Right. I do remember them saying about if the one ring is destroyed, the actual powers of the rings themselves would also be destroyed or fade away, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
That's why everyone who's still alive is going away in that boat ride to wherever they're going. So, but what the rings actually did, I don't remember. Like the other rings.
I think. Yeah, I don't. It's just rings of power, and power is just a. I don't know. It's not something I know about. I know it gave them extra life, prolonged life. But other than that, no. But at the end of the day, the only ring we ever know that has any power is the One Ring.
Right.
And the power that was shown is only the power that really hobbits can think of, as in like, hobbits only use it to be invisible because they can't think as far as as big of ideas as
they're not as
Sauron.
ambitious as the men or the dwarves. They're just like, hey, cheese and beer and
I was
fireworks.
invisible and I could steal some cheese and beer and it'd be great. So, do you know what I mean? So that's what hobbits think.
I can make 2 loaves of bread instead of 1.
You mean I could smoke weed and drink at the exact same time? Yes, I'm doing it.
The ambitions of hobbits, yes.
Oh, okay.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello?
Yeah. How's it going?
Oh, we're just contemplating the existence of powers of the other rings we never got to see in the stories and what they did.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have any idea?
No.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea of Lord of the Rings lore?
Well, I saw the original 3 movies, and then I saw the 3 with Watson's actor. That's about as much as I know.
Oh God. This is great. We've got 3 people whose knowledge of Lord of the Rings is Smud, Yokai. That guy was in Sherlock with Watson and stuff, wasn't it? And there's me going, I've heard somewhere that someone said something, maybe.
Anyway, there's lots of rings
Martin
running around.
Freeman, by the way,
There's lots of these things running around.
is the name.
Tom Bombadil and his wife
There's
have a ring.
19 of them.
Yeah, I know. It's
Mhm.
like all these men got them. A few elves got them. a
Martin
few
Freeman, that's his name.
Morgan Freeman.
Martin Freeman.
Really?
Morgan Freeman, where was he? Where was he when we
Martin
needed
Freeman.
him?
I said Martin
joking.
Freeman.
I know, I'm making a
Morgan
joke.
Freeman.
Oh, they have moments.
So it's essentially
Brilliant,
just
knew
a
he
power
fucked
struggle.
up.
That's all it is just this
Yeah.
one ring can control them all and do crazy stuff whenever they need to. Obviously, some rings are more affiliated with the elves, like the Ring of Water, I think. And some with the dwarves had the Ring of Fire. I got all these different rings. There are all kinds of rings. We never get to see them, though, what they can do.
Matthias has just sent me a message saying about the other rings, and I'm waiting in suspense about how he's going to the next sentence.
Wait, there are other rings?
There's 19, yes.
There's 19. There's 19 other rings.
I did not know that.
But
Right.
did you watch the movies? Did you not see the opening thing? 9
It's
rings
been
for
a
the
minute.
men,
It's been a minute.
7
It's
for
been a minute. It's
7
been a
for the
cut me a-
dwarves,
cut me
3
a
for the
break.
elves,
It's been a minute.
2 for the orcs, 1 for the duck,
Gotcha.
6 for the chicken. Just slowly go down the list of every creature that lives in Middle Earth. No, I think we can continue.
Yep. Let's go.
But my point with the One Ring is the powers that we see are only what Frodo and Bilbo can think to use for the ring. It's clear that it's got other powers besides that, because it allows Bilbo in the Hobbit movies to understand spider language. So there's clearly other powers that,
Interesting.
that we don't know about.
All right. Cool.
Or at least some of them. The ring was somewhat effective in that it corrupted the 9 kings of men and allowed Sauron to conquer many of the free lands of Middle-earth. But its vague level of control didn't allow him to subjugate the dwarves or the elves, or prevent the eventual alliance which saw Sauron defeated after his digits were cut off by Isildur. What the hell were you reaching for anyway? Swing
Why
that
is this
colossal
guy-
mace, buddy.
This guy sounds like he's announcing
So
something.
the ring, in terms of
Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny. He's like, this is the way the world works, and it's all crazy, and I'm going to talk like this. Okay.
I find that most people from New Zealand
WWE
talk like this.
Super Slam.
Because he's from New Zealand, I find that most people in New Zealand talk about this. Oh, hold on, what's this? Matthias says the rings, what is it? They can heal the world, they can control hearts and minds, or also harness elemental powers, fire, water, air, etc.
Right.
The ring.
There's all kinds of
So-
rings that control specifically those elements. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
but they're so ambiguous as magic power, like conduits for like your imagination. It's like, okay, I guess they can do stuff, but not on a large scale. It's all in your head mostly. They give you ambitions that you're like, oh, I can climb the tree because it's the power of air or some nonsense. You're like, okay, but who? I wish.
Which, to be honest with you, I think it's a good. It allows somebody who's got brains of intelligence to be better at using something than just an idiot. Do you know what I mean? And with Sauron, it's like he's designed it. Think with him going, "I am the smartest, I am the best." So he's designed it so that it will give him the most power, and other people who use it won't be able to use as much power. So it's sort of a neat little failsafe.
You kind of have to wonder
I guess.
why the rings were made in the first place. I'm kind of curious how this was set up, that they needed the rulers to have this magical force in nature, and some sort of agreement was made. It's like, okay, you're going to get some fire powers, you're going to get some water powers, and I don't know, you get sapphires. It's cool.
Well, if it was all a big plan by Sauron to trick him, he could have easily said, "Well, listen, the elves are having these be made. You should have this," and blah 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? So it might not even have been like agreed upon. It might just be like he just tricked everyone into getting them because it's like, well, the elves have got this amount of rings. We need this amount of rings, and we need, you know what I mean?
Right.
To the humans and the dwarves.
So
you could see something like that happening.
Yeah. So the idea was just to keep these people in power or keep them immortal, so that they could govern the land and be I don't know, just and true.
Puppets.
Well, initially it's all good natured.
Yeah. Yeah. But Sauron corrupted them, so his plan's really quite good. Corrupt the leadership and take over everything, weaken it from the inside. So it's just unfortunate that enough of the lower classes, I'll say, or the people, united and rebelled against him. But anyhow.
Yeah. All right.
That's what white people do to orcs who are black, supposedly. I don't know, something like that.
Control was obviously a bit of a failure. In the novels, Sauron had to go to war to secure the other rings. He had this jewelry for a grand total of 1850 years, and over that period he was defeated a total of 3 times, and at no point did he manage to fully conquer Middle-earth. So guys, we can do better than Sauron. If you're looking to expand your dominion over the internet realm, consider building a dominating website.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ! No.
You see how his voice just naturally just flowed? He could be talking about sandwiches. It would make no difference. It's just like, eating at Joe's is a delicious experience, and you should do it.
I was putting cheese on my sandwich.
Just like Sauron did.
Some letters, just like Squarespace. Oh my.
Do you want to make a website which is really beautiful, like Sauron's ring of power? Okay.
No, but to be honest with you, he was defeated 3 times in 1,850 years. Not bad going. Not bad win-lose ratio, is it?
If you're alive for that long and you lost 3 battles, but you get your finger chopped off, it's like, you're maybe a bit egotistical there. You weren't paying attention.
Well, yeah, but you got your fingers chopped off once. It's like, oh well, you win some, you lose some.
Right. The thing is, after that, his body.
It's not a bad defeat.
Yeah, but after that, his entire physical body started deteriorating rapidly.
Okay, so okay, that's a bit of a bummer. Okay, I'll give him that.
Of all the things,
he had the foresight to turn himself into a giant flaming eye so he could get revenge.
But if you have your Achilles heel is literally this glowing thing on your finger, and someone's able to chop it off, like maybe you should wear gloves. I don't know, maybe a gauntlet, or just not show it off.
He was wearing gauntlets.
He was.
He was wearing a gauntlet.
He was a tower of a man.
The ring was on the outside of his gauntlet.
This giant creature.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe use a bow and arrow and fight from a distance. That might work better.
Or maybe how about just not fight in these battles?
Just don't go into war.
Just sit back and just watch your arm. Direct your armies from like your tower and be like, they're doing okay. Like normal generals and stuff too.
Yeah, I guess all the technicalities and the logistics of conquering the world, you got to do things your own way. You got to get your hands dirty. You can't just send out your minions.
I bet he was watching that battle going, ugh. It's like, if you want something doing, you've got to go in there and bash him with a club yourself.
Pretty much everyone else failed him, so he has to do it all himself. So he's like, I can't. You guys suck. I got to do this myself.
Well, literally, look. Yeah, but look at that first bit. He's just like swinging, and every swing sending like 20 guys off into the sky to they're dead. Wash, done. So it's like, he's just kicking ass.
Maybe he should forge a death ray or something. That might be more effective than a club.
Just build a Death Star. Everyone's doing it these days.
Just napalm the whole army. It's like, we'll be more experimental in your weapons. Don't put a ring on your finger and get all frenzied up. Come on, you could think of a little more sophisticated technology here.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna have this ring, but it's like, I'll leave this ring here because I am still like a powerful magic user, a necromancer and stuff. So I can leave this ring here and still fight this battle. It's fine.
I still say some sort of powerful ballista weapon, or I don't know, something ranged
Yeah.
would be more ideal. But
Battering.
A Glock. Just take a Glock in there. Be
pew
fine.
pew pew.
An AR-15. You just mow them all down.
Oh boy. Anyway.
I want to see him like Sauron holding like a minigun, like that guy from Predator.
Chain gun just
that.
mow down the forest.
Just mowing everyone. Yeah, everything. Just...
See how strong that elven's mithril or that dwarven mithril is. Like, no.
Yeah. Mithril was.
He's bouncing off, like, ripping right through plate mail. I was like, yeah, no problem.
It's great.
Bullets, my only weakness.
Just make a gun in the medieval setting.
Yeah, that
Do
casts
that.
a gun that shoots fireballs or something. I don't know, something magical.
Yeah, but the thing is, when people say, "Oh, make a gun in the medieval period," they're like, "Oh, we couldn't do that." They could, though. They had cannons and guns back in the old days, though.
If you're a master
They were crap.
jeweler, forger, blacksmith person, you might figure a few things out chemically that go, hey, this causes explosions and this causes sharp objects to travel very quickly.
The first cannon used in battle was in 1236 in human history. That's at the peak of swords and shields.
Yeah.
And it's literally just a long tube of metal that just shot a round ball at people on some wooden 2 blocks of wood.
Here is Great Scott. Don't come to the Shire tomorrow, Bilbo. Okay.
Heavy machine gun.
I'm just thinking of when the Ringwraiths get to the Shire and they get the swords out, and then Rambo Baggins just boots down a door.
Yeah, man, Rambo Baggins.
Well, one of the themes of, believe it or not, Lord of the Rings, the same as Star Wars, is technology versus nature. And the idea is that the Uruk-hai have technology on their side because they reproduce at a certain rate, and they have all these weird, long, nasty-looking weapons and evolved trolls and all these big creatures. And
a lot more metal work than what the man has.
Yeah, I know, but even the dwarves have good technology too. So I'm kind of curious. Is that natural technology or is that just magic technology? What is the difference?
The difference is it's short man technology.
Oh.
So that's the only difference. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get.
I think it's more the fact that the dwarves just deal with rocks and minerals, whereas and stick to being under the ground.
There should be a comic book superhero. There should be a comic book superhero called Modern Man that has modern technological advancements in medieval times.
Like a smartphone?
It's just Modern Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck it, yeah.
Got cell towers.
He's got I don't know, I feel like it'd be funnier if it was he had a Nokia because it would be impressive for them.
Oh yeah, they're using a water wheel to power the thing. They're not milling.
Just an excuse.
It's a dynamo.
I'm just imagining
an excuse to bring back flip phones, make it seem it's impressive technology.
Smud, did you ever watch the Hot Shots movies?
Yes, I did.
That scene where Charlie Sheen fights Saddam Hussein with an 80s phone in a sword fight.
Oh, he pulls out the antenna?
The antennae.
The antenna and everything.
Yeah, and he fights with a sword. That's how I imagine he fights in this medieval world.
Yeah. Have this character that has 80s tech. He's got 80s tech in a medieval fantasy setting. And that's his super that's how he fights wizards and shit.
All you see is someone's getting killed with a ET the game cartridge stuck out of him.
He just pulls out a fucking Magnum. He just pulls out a fucking Magnum. Yeah.
He's got one of those, or the army surplus, the first generation of those APCs that was it Schwarzenegger bought back in the day before they went mainstream. It's just those giant cars.
Yeah. You just see like horses charge, and he just like runs them over like a day.
He's using like Shire petrol or I don't know brandy or something to fuel his car.
Yeah, like he has like a fucking taser, and they think that he's using electric magic to shock people. It's just a fucking taser.
He commands lightning bolts. What do we do?
Yeah, they think he's throwing fireballs, but he's just throwing grenades.
Oh god. I heard this loud noise and I was blinded by bright lights. He's a wizard.
It was a spell that he called grenade.
My friend's legs blew off. I was scared. Anyway, let's get off the Squarespace picture. I'm getting a little annoyed here.
Yeah. Mm.
So anyway, the ring did not live up to expectations.
So anyway,
onto this boring subject after we've gone through the excitement.
Oh boy.
Of its over the other rings. But since we're daring to dip a few toes into book lore, let's be fair about it and analyze the full scope of the ring's powers to see what, if anything, could have benefited Sauron. First, the obvious one, invisibility. Or more accurately, the ring allows the wearer to phase out of the physical world and into the spirit realm. It also allows the wearer to understand black speech, project a false image of their appearance, and live an unnaturally long life. All of which won't help Sauron, since these powers appear to be based on abilities he already possessed before he had the ring, which leaves just a few remaining effects that could potentially benefit Sauron. The ring has the power to corrupt and longs to get back to its master, though this barely seems to help Sauron at all, since it stayed embedded in a riverbed for 2.5 millennia, and then when it finally finds a few ring bearers, they all keep it secret and keep it for themselves. The ring also has the ability to augment the natural attributes of the wearer, so that's definitely something, and it's also said to bring about a sharpening of senses. So as a divine being, Sauron should already be pretty sharp. Okay, I admit it's not looking good so far. The ring may also serve to enshrine Sauron's power, allowing that part of his spirit to remain constant and undiminished. The theory being that anyone looking to fully vanquish Sauron would need to destroy his body and also go through the hassle of destroying the ring, which they'd probably be compelled to keep. And that's it. That's all it does. Its most powerful abilities still somewhat passive in their nature, and I would argue none of them justify the massive weaknesses the ring creates for Sauron. For a start, Sauron's body begins to disintegrate the moment the ring is separated from his hand. An injury that even a mortal man could survive is somewhat fatal to Sauron, or at least presents a massive setback for him. Though in the books, it admittedly played out a bit differently, and Sauron was apparently in a weakened state during this conflict. Yeah, there's probably no way I can navigate this.
So, what you're saying is the movie made it simplified it for a shorter story length.
They made it more dramatic.
Having his fingers cut off.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
And maybe for a more general audience, too.
Yeah. So, what you're saying is there was something else going on in the books. Excellent. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it has nondescript abilities that we can't quite define because they weren't defined in the first place, but we'll make it like a power source. When he takes it off, he goes, whoa.
Yeah. But also, it's like you have to destroy the ring to destroy Sauron, but he's made it so that people don't want to destroy the ring. That's not a bad thing. That's a good failsafe.
It just takes millennia to get back to it. It's like, okay.
Yeah, but when you can survive that long, it's like a weekend, isn't it? So
you'd be really like, oh, am I getting my damn jewelry back? Like, holy crap, this is taking forever.
Yeah, but he was still. But during that 2 millennia, he was still looking for it. It wasn't like he was going like, "Well, it'll come." It's not like a homing pigeon. He's not just waiting for it, you know. Just
you'd think he would have put that
back.
in and done so. Put some sort of magic to find the thing.
Yeah, but I assume that because they did find Gollum. Remember, they did find Gollum and torched him for quite some time.
Just make it like Thor's hammer. Just flies towards him.
It rolls up hills.
Yeah.
It's like a block of cheese, like those round blocks, a wheel of cheese just rolling everywhere.
Everyone wants a piece. It's like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, everyone wants a piece. Yeah, it's like the cheese rolling competitions
It
they have
never-
in the UK, when it goes down the hill.
It never runs out of itself. If you cut a piece off, it regrows more. It's like, this is an amazing block of cheese. You get infinite cheese.
Yeah.
Let's keep it. And then it just keeps rolling away.
I want a steak that does that.
Okay. I'm thinking
What, a steak that rolls, or a steak that just keeps regrowing back?
No, that just... Why would I want it to roll?
I don't know.
It has to get
So you
back
can
to
cook your
its
wherever
order.
you go.
So.
No, I want it to keep coming. I want to just cook meat for the rest of my life.
You can cook meat for the rest of your life.
Ooh, what if it was self-cooking? It's just perpetually growing, and it's self-cooking.
Considering they're doing that now with testing of artificial meat, that is
No.
Petri dish
I'm
stuff.
not interested in artificial meat. I want real meat.
No, it's
real.
actual. Like they take the proteins and DNA of whatever animal,
No.
Pump it full
I
of
want
blood
real
and get it to grow.
proper orphan meat from freshly caught orphans. That's my sort of. Sorry, what was that? No, anyway, back to Sauron and his ring.
Yeah.
Intentionally ambiguous narrative delivered to us by unreliable narrators without pissing off a bunch of Middle-earth lords. I've made peace with it.
What?
What can men do against such reckless hate?
Prior to forging the ring, I can't imagine Sauron's physical body would die from such an injury. He got his throat ripped to shreds in the first age, and he managed to survive it then. And if the ring was really the only thing holding him together at this time, well, maybe he should have fled instead of making a personal appearance.
You let the enemy walk in and take it on a whim.
But the most concerning flaw
No, but that
of
was
this
the final
thing has to be
battle.
its effect on Sauron when it's inevitably destroyed. As we saw in the movie, Sauron's control over his forces is immediately halted, and his modest physical presence in Middle-earth crumbles to dust. But according to the novels, Sauron can now only exist as an angry wisp of black smoke, permanently unable to take physical form or manifest himself in any way that could again threaten Middle-earth. Before the ring was crafted as an immortal Maya, if Sauron were killed, he would still exist as a potent spirit, with the ability to eventually reconstitute himself by various means. So in terms of allowing Sauron to regain a physical foothold in Middle-earth, the ring never seemed to be necessary. There is no way to completely wipe Sauron from existence, but crafting the ring has created the possibility that he could be permanently rendered impotent. He's essentially created a super weapon that only works against himself. A massive Achilles heel that isn't even attached to his body and can't be tracked easily. So if Sauron was reckless enough to forge the ring in the first place, you just know the rest of his strategies aren't going to lend themselves to ensuring the ring's survival, let alone allow him to win the massive war he's committed to bringing about. Point 2. Sauron prematurely exposes himself to his greatest enemies. So after Sauron's vanishing act all those years ago, his next appearance is in the Hobbit franchise. At this time, Sauron's enemies appear to believe the Dark Lord is gone for good.
The spirit of Sauron endured.
Which for a savvy operator would present a massive opportunity. But rather than building his forces in secret and striking Middle-earth without warning, Sauron brazenly announces himself to his greatest enemies, clearly laying out his intentions and resolving to attack the dwarven city of Erebor immediately. Why? Well, it's strategically important, and he wants gold?
His master seeks control of the mountain. Not just for the treasure within, but for where it lies, its strategic position.
I guess they need...
Okay, so if you're going to conquer the world, you need resources. That makes perfect sense. And people want different things to fall in line. And wealth is one of those things. So, makes sense.
Men want gold.
So do dwarves, so do pretty much everyone. Yeah, so you got to use money of some kind.
Yeah, it's like bribing with money, and then when they get into, use them for what you need to, and then they're under your thrall anyway. So,
which implies an economic system. You don't just have a bunch of shock troopers that are disposable, like the Uruk-hai. You have to actually conquer. You don't just kill everyone. So
yeah, because he wants to rule the world. It's like, yeah, that's great, but people seem to make out that he just wants to rule a wasteland. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Even Mordor's not an actual wasteland. There's like, yeah, the orcs and everything do have like a society.
Yeah, apparently there's menus in restaurants.
Yes, exactly.
Very specific cuisine, Mordorian, and they eat lots of people. So, you got to supply
they eat a lot
demand.
of themselves. So, yeah.
Something
I'll have a number 42. Oh, wait, hang on. No, 42 is me. I'll have 43 instead.
That's not. They're not menu items. They're people. Numbered 42.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nihilistic. The Dark Lord only knows what the hell these morons plan to spend their money on.
Potatoes.
No matter what
Anything.
strategic benefits holding Erebor might afford him, it couldn't possibly compare to the importance of keeping his existence secret.
In fact,
He's a showboater.
And if Erebor must be taken, then why not send the orcs there on the lowdown? Just a pack of rogue orcs sniffing around for some gold. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, I do agree
He's
that
given his enemies a massive 60 years to prepare for the coming conflict. He's just lucky Middle-earth was so divided and leaderless. They could have marched on Mordor and messed...
he's divided and Yeah. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. He's divided and leaderless because he's got his plans to make Middle-earth divided and leaderless. He's got so many different plans going off. That's the thing. All that's happening in Middle-earth isn't just coincidence.
Was Sauron the reason why everyone was split?
Yes. He's got his power is to make everyone. Yeah, it's part of his plan to like split up Middle-earth.
Well, this is assumption that's Plan B, that he doesn't have the one ring to control the other rings. Therefore, he's going to start conquering in the process. He'll find the one ring eventually, or it'll be easier for him to do so.
Because Denethor wasn't always the way he was. Person who runs Gondor, but it feels like it's Sauron's influence on Denethor that makes him paranoid. And makes him the way he acts, as you see in Return of the King.
Him up where he could pose a threat to them. As for the battle at hand, it seems Sauron's declaration of intent wasn't the only thing around here that was poorly timed. The White Orcs' worm tunnel ambush would have been impressive if they didn't turn up at the precise moment that would unite four factions against them. A defining trend of the coming campaign and the first of many strategic errors Sauron and his forces are guilty of. Point 3. Sauron's campaign to secure the ring and Middle-earth is plagued by oversights and infighting. His lack of security precautions around Mordor assures his ultimate doom. So we kick things off in the...
Yeah, I'm kind of curious, like his strategy and tactics aren't good enough, or he just doesn't know what he's doing. It's like all his forces are there.
I think that the biggest issue with this guy's argument is that he doesn't seem to be critiquing specific parts of Sauron's plans. He just keeps using sensational words that just make Sauron sound wrong.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, he's not doing enough. He's not being careful enough. It's like, well, can you give us some explicit examples of him not being careful?
Well, it's like in his first bit, in 1,850 years or something, he lost 3 battles. That's not a flawless record. Okay, but how many did he win? Because that's kind of important to understand.
This just sounds like anti-Sauron propaganda. That's all this sounds like.
It's like, always remember, Helm's Deep, the heroes would have lost if it hadn't been for Gandalf turning up. At the end, they were going to lose that battle. There was no ifs or buts about it. Rohan was about to be completely wiped out. Sauron and Saruman had completely just beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, he was just Zerg rushing the entire landscape, and he's like, all right, well, if you're coming at me, this is my factory where I make everyone. Good luck.
Yeah, but it's also a bit like but Sauron and Saruman's orcs and Uruk-hais had beaten Rohan. That was it. Because with the other ones, because he'd got Sauron on his side to make Theoden, turn him into that old man who was twisted. So like his army was gone. So that was clearly happening long before the Lord of the Rings movie stories started. So he's got that. Gondor's doing nothing. They're just sending, soldiers to die at that. Was it Felaskillen or something? Is it where Faramir keeps getting sent? They keep getting slaughtered at. So, really, to be honest with you, it's only Gandalf, really, Gandalf and Aragorn, on the good guys who ever come up with any plans that work to combat Sauron. And then you get lucky that Treebeard enters with the Ent in the Two Towers.
Oh, right, yeah.
But that was luck. But that's only, but no, not luck. But that's because Merry and Pippin trick him into walking near Isengard to see what Saruman has done, and that gets the Ents involved. But other than that, tactically, Sauron is doing okay. He's winning battles. He's gathering troops. He's got everything sorted out. He would have won the final battle in Lord of the Rings if it hadn't been for the fact that Gollum bit Frodo's finger off and fell into the flames, into the lava. He was going to win. How do you plan for hobbits? That's the point. No one plans for hobbits, and if you say, "Oh, you should do," but you don't. You don't plan for a hobbit defeating the Dark Lord.
Yeah,
and that's the point.
And having magical camouflage cloaks from the elves. It's like, oh, we couldn't find the little guys who looked like the rocks on the mountain.
Yeah, but that's the point of it. It's like the unexpected. The heroes win because of the unexpected. It's like no one expected the hobbits to have any importance in anything. And that's the thing. So, I don't know. Always be planning in case someone's shorter than your kneecaps is going to be around. I don't know. That's the only thing I could tell Sauron to do next time. To-do list, wipe out hobbits.
Preloading Gandalf puffing on that dank pipeweed before heading off to a hobbit shindig. He's brought a stash of buzzy fireworks. Those little shits better bust out a good feed.
The salted pork is particularly good.
Nowadays, Gandalf seems to have become complacent, only now beginning to rally the troops when the threat of Sauron has become imminent.
Full of pipeweed.
All the more stranger considering once Gandalf finally pulls finger, his most impressive power ends up being political meddling. And that's barely even a joke. Gandalf's fire ring has the ability to encourage others to resist tyranny. It's probably had far more impact on the world than the Master Ring could ever hope for. So he starts by mugging Bilbo for his ring, before confirming this is indeed the MacGuffin to rule them.
What the fuck is this? He starts by mugging Bilbo for his ring. No.
Doesn't Gandalf adamantly not want it?
It does not want it. Don't give it to me, bro. No. You want it for yourself. You get, and Brad's like, no.
You're not tempt me, boy.
Yeah. Bilbo Baggins! So, no, he knows there's something wrong with that ring. But he doesn't know it's the Ring of Power. That's why he does this fucking scene to read up on stuff. In the books, this takes him, I think Zach told me, 15 years or something to go through all the books in Gondor? Because it takes a long time for him to read up on stuff. The books take a very long time. It's just that in the movies, it seems like it's a short period of time because they've condensed stuff down.
Right, and they just showed the ring that it's called the Red Ring, the Ring of Fire that Gandalf wore, So
I didn't even know that was the name of the ring. Didn't have a clue.
Yeah, I don't remember. I really don't recall all of these. Like, there's 19 of them. I can't remember.
Well, but I never watched the Hobbit movies. I read the Hobbit, and I can't remember it be the red ring.
Yeah, I know, but you have to like understand that all these were like in well detailed explained in the books. So these things, like I'm just on the page right now of the wiki and saying this ring was described as having the power to inspire others to resist tyranny, domination, and despair. In other words, evoking hope from others around the wielder, as well as giving resistances to the wariness of time. Okay.
Yeah. But it's like, okay.
Interesting. It's almost like the ring would need to have a consciousness because it would need to know what to characterize, like what constitutes a resistance from the ring's point of view.
Like the user would have to be,
it's just two factions against each other.
The user would have to be actively thinking something, and then somehow the ring would be able to then amplify that power, outward and influence. Like it's very sort of what's the word? Very similar to how the world of Planescape Torment, you can just influence the world based off your thoughts.
Because based on that, if Gandalf stood nearby a fight, the two would beat the shit out of each other more. Because they would be resisting the other person. They would be inspired to just beat the living shit out of each other.
All I know is if Gandalf was here today, all would happen with his like resist tyranny. You just see people go like, repeal the 19th. And that'd be it.
I won't go to work because Gandalf's around. He inspires me to be free. It's like, wait, what? No, don't do that.
Yeah, like it could actually be a problem.
And they're holding torches because they're not scared of fire. So like, yeah, I'll burn down this store. I'm never gonna work here again.
Yeah, it's like,
oh my God. This economics expert, like Gandalf, get out of here. Gandalf, get my property.
You just see someone go, you know what? This job doesn't pay me enough. I'm leaving. I'm going to be better. But doctor, you're halfway through the heart surgery. I don't care. Gandalf's giving me hope. I want to be a lion tamer. I'm going to do what I believe in.
Oh boy.
But yeah, Gandalf's not. Also, Gandalf and Aragorn in the books go on a very long quest to get things ready for Sauron's return. So Gandalf is actively preparing. It's just the fact that he's also trying to keep up the pretense in case he's being watched that he's an idiot and he's not as powerful as he actually is. It's called a ruse. So, because he's trying to make people think he's just a party a conjurer of tricks and stuff. So
right. Okay.
This massive burden to poor little Frodo, sending him and Sam off into the wilderness alone.
Your love of the halfling
he's not, but
has clearly.
What?
But he's not sending them just on their own. He goes here to tell Saruman because he still thinks he's an ally, with the intention of joining back up with Sam. Did you watch the movie?
I think the first one's called The Fellowship, so there's all these guys involved.
The Fellowship.
Yeah, but even in this part, also there's two other people with them. Merry and Pippin are also there, so there's four of them in total. So it's not particularly Sam and Frodo on their own. Also, yeah, Gandalf does intend to meet them at the Prancing Pony. Because that's where he's meant to meet him before but he has to go and see Saruman to tell him about what's happening.
Right.
Because he still believes Saruman's on his side at this point. He's a wizard, not a clairvoyant. He doesn't know that Saruman's going to betray him.
You see, Sauron now knows that Bilbo from the Shire had the ring thanks to Gollum ratting them out, and somehow the useless prick has failed to find the Shire in 60 years like he had anything better to do.
The Shire is hard to find!
Sauron gets underway by sending Nazgul ring raids.
Hold on, isn't Tom Bombadil also helping with the Shire as well? In the book?
Not really, no. He's in his own forest. and that's his.
Yeah, but he's near. But he's near the Shire.
He's not too far, but he's still, relatively in his own little world.
Oh yeah, I know he's not interested, but I'm just saying, like, I thought there was something to do with him being in such close proximity to the Shire.
I'd have to look at the map again to see exactly where he is, but it's
that might be me just misthinking it, to be honest. But I always thought there was something about the Shire that it was just difficult to find because no one really knows about it.
It's very far away in comparison to Mordor, yes. So that
but
was...
even with like humans and everything like that, it's like even the humans who live right on the border with the Shire barely know anything about it.
I have to look at the map. I have to look at the big map that every book has and go, where the hell is it? Where's the forest that Merry and Pippin get lost in? And that's where they find the Elks and the Ents and Tom Bombadil and all the other.
Because like the Brandy Book ferry is what they go on, which is like on the border of like whatever the town's called. I can't remember what the town's called for the life of me, but all I know is it's called the Prancing Pony. And they're right next to it and everything like that. And they know about hobbits, but it still seems a bit like, we know of hobbits, but we don't really know the Shire. And that's always been a thing for me. It's like the Shire is just something that's very difficult to find in general.
Right.
And this hobbit screeching like banshees, warning their prey of their approach.
What?
They can presumably sense the ring is nearby, but this ability appears to be extremely limited. Later in Breen, the ring puts itself on Frodo's finger, alerting the nearby Nazgul. And even Sauron himself makes an appearance and confirms he can see Frodo has this thing.
I see.
The Nazgul simpletons waste a bit of time stabbing empty beds before eventually catching up with our hobbits after they let their munchies get the better of...
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. You just skipped out the fact that Aragorn saved him, but whatever.
Tomatoes, nice crispy bacon.
So now the Nazgul have seen the ring on Frodo with their own dead eyes, taking their sweet time to kill him only to be scared off by one man with a flaming torch. Though to be fair, I'd probably be running too if I had the flammability of kerosene-soaked tinder.
You've shown your quality, sir.
Meanwhile, Gandalf meets up with Saruman the White, spilling the beans on Frodo and the ring, before the White Wizard outs himself as a servant of Sauron. Getting a bit sentimental for his old friend, he chooses to imprison him rather than kill this obvious threat to his master.
Friendship of Saruman is not lightly thrown aside.
Surely he should be well aware of Gandalf's Dr. Dolittle abilities. So with nothing but a hint of the ring, Sauron seemingly chooses this moment to start his campaign to retake Middle-earth, rather than waiting until he actually has the ring, or probably more importantly, waiting until those meddlesome elves have left Middle-earth for good. A fact they're casually advertising.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God, the elves... In the movies, apart from that token group of elves, that token, like, army that they sent to boost the numbers at Helm's Deep, which does nothing, because there's that many Uruk-hai, the elves do nothing in this apart from reforge...
the sword that was broken.
The sword. Yeah, but Zach's going to kill me because he loves that sword, and I just cannot remember what the name of it is.
Oh, really?
Andril's? Yeah, Andril's sword, but it's like, it'll come back to me.
Yeah, and Anduril, yeah.
Yeah, but it's called something else after it gets reforged, though. So, can't remember what it was called afterwards. But regardless, it's... He's doing this at a right time. He's put so much planning into this. He thinks he can take Middle-earth without the ring at this point. He thinks he's powerful enough to take Middle-earth without the ring.
Well, this is his eventual plan, is to take over the world. So whether he has the ring or not, he has the forces. He has Saruman under his control, and he's slowly dominating the rest of the lands. So it's a matter of time.
Yeah. Yeah. And at this moment in time, you have to remember that the King of Rohan is under Saruman's spell, and his lands are ripe for raping and pillaging, which happens, and you see it. Gondor, Denethor is pretty much under Sauron's control. So Gondor is pretty much like ripe for the picking as well. So it's like, who's going to stand up to him? The elves are leaving. They're not even bothered. They're just running away. The dwarves, they don't even know what the dwarves are doing. It's not much. So really, there's no one really to stop him. It's only because Gandalf and Aragorn managed to unite Rohan and Gondor together that there's even a chance of just delaying Sauron, so that Frodo can destroy the ring. Everything that happens with like Aragorn and Gandalf is just a delaying tactic for Frodo.
Right.
And that's it. So I just don't get his point. It's like he's winning this war. Sauron's winning this war.
Exactly. That's the kind of the focus is that he's so powerful in terms of army and resources that no one can stop. Even the forces of Minas Tirith can just sit there and wait for people to attack them because they can't go out or they'll get destroyed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all just a waiting game for.
Well,
Frodo.
Yeah, and in the movie, what was it? In Return of the King, the movie, the reason they win at Gondor is not because of the awesome Rohirrim turn up in that awesome like scene. It's the ghosts of the Gondor soldiers that Aragorn gets, because they're getting like massacred at this point in time by the big elephants or opholants or whatever you want to call them. Marmadukes or whatever, I don't care.
Okay. Here is Eric Wright. Hey Eric, how's it going, man? How do I get the stud? I only have STD and you are all I need.
Oh,
okay.
Wow. What is?
No, he's been doing really bad. He's been doing really bad puns in casual chat today, and it's just getting worse and worse.
What is going on? I do know what happened on Ontario about an hour ago. We discontinued the AstraZeneca vaccine because it's considered unsafe for people of all ages because of blood clotting, which we were debating for the past month, and all of a sudden we decided not to do it. And our lockdown has been extended as a result, so now we're stuck until June. And
Jesus.
Yes.
Ours has been ours is getting lifted quicker.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I don't mean to brain on your parade.
I know. I'm just sitting at home going, I can't do anything still. I can't move.
But the thing is, the funny thing about that is the reason why it's getting lifted quicker isn't because of vaccines, isn't because of change of date or anything. It's just because the pubs in the UK have said, no, we're opening up on this day, and you're not stopping it.
Yeah.
And they're actually taking the UK government to court, and they've got a good chance of winning the court case. So they're actually, yeah.
That's what sort of happened with only a few restaurants that came together in Toronto to say, hey, we're opening up regardless. We don't care. It didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, guys, you guys really have to band together and fight this because this is going on too long.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Because with the UK, it didn't happen. And then everyone started noticing that, oh, hang on, my pub chain isn't surviving. Oh, crap, I thought it was going to be my competition that didn't survive. Oh, I'm not surviving. Hey, guys, do you want to work together? It's like, yeah, let's do this.
I do know.
Otherwise,
because people that aren't being hurt enough by the lockdowns aren't protesting them. And even the ones that are, there aren't enough people backing them up for it to be significant.
Well,
the point is because there's like no consequence for what the government is doing to us.
No. But
that's not even just America;
UK,
it's everywhere.
Yeah, in Italy.
But now in the UK there is, and it's like they've I think just recently said there's going to be a public inquiry about the handling of COVID.
I do know in Italy back in January, there were, I think, hundreds or thousands of restaurants that said, no, we're all opening up on this day and we don't care. So, which was, if you guys remember, the original outbreaks in Italy were horrific. So I don't know what they're like now. I haven't been paying attention to, well, aside from India, the stories from India are scary, but I don't know what it's like in Italy nowadays.
Mm-hmm. India is, from what I'm being told, it's a lot to do with politics at this moment in time in India.
Well, there are bodies being burned in open fires outside of hospitals.
But the problem with it is it's like all the places that imagine it like with Americans. It's like the Republicans of India are in power, right? But the places that are having the worst of COVID are like the Democrat-run areas.
I see.
But the Indian version. So that's one of the problems. So there's a lot of problems. But also you have to remember that India's got 1.3 billion people in it or something, and they haven't got the greatest
life
setup
healthcare
in most places.
Hospitals, emergency care. Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. But in the UK, I think there's been no deaths for the past week of COVID.
Yeah, our daily average has gone down. We're at like 2,600 or whatever it was, but it's slowly going down.
But the main reason as well, I was going to say, just to finish off with the UK, is one of the other reasons why the pubs banded together was the government said that even if you have 2 vaccine jabs, it won't mean that lockdowns are ever lifted, and they were planning on pretty much having constant lockdowns in the UK.
Yeah.
And that's why people said, well, if we're having a vaccine, what's the point of the lockdowns? And it's like, it's one or the other. And they went, vaccines and everyone's out. It's like, yeah. So, anyhow.
Anyway, back to Lord of the Rings.
What would happen in Lord of the Rings?
Has been busy ramping up the war effort, pumping out these supposed Uruk-hai elites, and kitting them out with blunt weaponry.
You won't stop.
A similar strategy to that of the Galactic Empire, preferring to create overwhelming numbers of troops, but supplying them with substandard equipment. One of many aspects of Lord of the Rings George Lucas apparently drew inspiration from. Though unlike the Empire, Sauron's heavy forces and siege weaponry are somewhat impressive. The trolls, for example...
Back with my disbelief then. Blunt instrument.
Well, they showed the scene where they're pumping out armor and weapons, so I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm quite sure they have a circular whetstone where they sharpen, but I don't know how sharp.
Boromir, those arrows, how blunt were they? Oh, you're dead, sorry, yeah. What? They're not blunt.
They're arrowheads, yeah, they're metal.
Those arrowheads weren't blunt. They pierced Sean Bean 3 times.
Yeah.
Also, at Helm's Deep, how all you elves, how blunt are they? Oh wait, they just slice you to pieces.
If you have a piece of heavy metal, it doesn't have to be very sharp to cut. You just gotta get a nice leverage on it, and boom.
Oh, the Uruk-hai haven't got katanas like proper edge boys. Yeah.
They don't have bastard swords that are sharp enough to cut through. Yeah, they're sharp enough. They're fine.
Okay, so the Uruk-hai aren't there with a fedora and a trench coat, like a little weeb with a katana. So he's going like, oh no, bad armor and bad, you know.
Yeah, we don't need to have too much
fat neck beards.
We don't need too many. Like we have enough detail showing the making of weapons and armor and putting it on, and cutting things. Like it's sharp. We get it. They're not stupid. They don't just have like a bunch of clubs in the shape of steel. It's like no.
If you don't have stone clubs,
the one thing
go ugh.
The one thing I will criticize the film for is when they reforged the sword that was broken, because all they do, it looks really weird. They take the sliver of the Nazgul sword, and they put it with the sword that was broken, and they just sort of smash it together. And I'm like, that doesn't look right. That's not how you repair a sword. It doesn't look proper. So maybe.
Yeah. Well, I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert on.
Yeah, no, I'm just like that doesn't look right. Maybe it's a magic elven form. I don't know, but it doesn't look right.
Oh, you know what's really bad about this? Zach does blacksmithing as well,
Yeah,
so he could probably have told us.
He would
along with his Lord of the Rings knowledge.
Go on YouTube. Go on YouTube and do a search for the Andrill or sword that was broken and show the reforging. It does not look like they do a proper job, but that's just my opinion. Could be magic. Could be something else. Who knows? Anyway.
Well, look at this battering ram. It's too blunt. It should be sharp.
This is a cool battering ram, actually.
Yeah, it's great.
Slugger providing unique advantages on the battlefield while also delivering a bit of genuine shock and awe.
Oh, look at that! They're too. Those trolls are just too blunt.
Twice the size of a man. It's like, don't worry, they're fine. They don't need a sword.
Yeah,
they just gotta clubber people.
Oh, God. Yeah, but if you see how it happens, it just literally. Even Gandalf goes, "Oh, wait, hold on." Even Gandalf looks at those trolls and they come through, and he's like, "Oh, crap." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think his long sword isn't going to probably cut it very well.
If only he had a sharper long sword, Gandalf.
Yeah.
Have a cave. Back with the halflings, who was some assistance
Also, can I just
from
say that Sean Bean just fucking nails being Boromir.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's just something about the way he just says they have a cave troll, just so like unimpressed. Like, oh,
we're
great.
Screwed. We're gonna die.
Yeah. Anyway, we're all gonna die. So who wants to try and take it down with me?
Aragorn and have made it to the relative safety of Rivendell. Reunited with Gandalf and some other random stakeholders, the Fellowship of the Ring is formed. Saruman.
Who has voting rights?
Random stakeholders. Random stakeholders. This isn't a FTSE company.
We're gonna have an earnings report tomorrow, and I want everyone to be here at 7:00 sharp.
You don't just see Allegra stand up and go stonks, and then just sit back down.
I want a head count.
Everybody.
I want a head count of the next of CEOs and CFOs, please. Okay.
Buy, sell, buy, sell.
And sends out to intercept them, giving his commander extremely vague orders.
One of the halflings carries something of great value. Bring them to me alive.
He probably doesn't want to be too specific should the Uruk-hai be tempted to take the ring for themselves.
Because they're putting the armor on, so like just slamming it on their bodies. I love it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, let's go.
Wear that helmet. It looks great on you. Get in there. Get that chest plate on.
One size fits all.
Gary, are you sure? No, all I think of it is just like one really like over enthusiastic like armorer. The rest are being put on normally.
This guy's slamming it
so
on
like
his
one
chest.
guy, yeah, just one guy's just doing it to this group. Oh, I'm always in this queue for my arm.
Here's Mr. M. Thank you, Mr. M. To be fair, Sean Bean is negative on being arrow-proof. You don't even need an arrowhead to kill him. Thus says all his scripts. Oh, Sean Bean.
No, he doesn't die in everything though. He lives in more things than he dies in. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, that's true.
Watch him in Sharp. He's unkillable. He gets shot repeatedly in that show, and he's unkillable.
Okay. If you need someone to die, though, he does a very good job. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But without what exactly they're looking for, the mission is doomed.
We've so little faith.
No.
So predictable.
They
They're
capture
after halflings.
They capture Mary.
They capture halflings. Yeah.
They get them. Then they have to drag them around with them because their orders were to keep them alive. That's what they do.
Yeah, and they're trying to get back to Isengard, but they're in enemy territory.
Yeah, then they get captured and they get dragged along and then they manage to escape.
Yeah.
So they do their job.
They got told not to kill the halfling. So they don't try and kill the halfling.
Yeah, exactly.
The Uruk have the wrong
Followed orders
hobbits
to like the letter.
Yeah, I know.
The wrong hobbit.
They do the job to the letter. It's like, wait, these are not the right hobbits. It's like, well, you didn't say. You just said hobbits.
It's like, well, Yeah, you just said grab hobbits. We grabbed all the halflings we could see and killed Sean Bean. What more do you want from us?
Maybe if you were more specific. Yeah, exactly.
We went above and beyond the Call of Duty here, Saruman. we.
I remember the animated show had a specific music just for the hobbits in chains. Where there's a whip, there's a way. And it was just this whole musical number. And they're marching and marching. Merry and Pippin are being dragged along. They fall over. They keep pulling them up and bringing them back. And they
Where's a whip? There's a whip.
Yeah, no, it's a great. I remember that music. Very, very memorable song of that animation. So, oh wow, you guys got to watch that Lord of the Rings animation. Pretty cool.
Is it what Ralph Bakshi? Is it what's his name?
I don't remember the animator's name. No, but I got it for a gift, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. I'll watch that.
It's not completed though, is it? It only goes so far.
It's only the first or second. I can't remember. I can't remember the whole thing, but it's pretty cool. Anyway.
Okay.
Don't even bother their pockets. Not that they would know what they're looking for, even if they did.
But doesn't
they then
matter.
turn around and start running all the way back to Isengard, wasting all this time while Frodo, Sam, and the ring slip away.
Make sure your packs
But
are
we
secure
don't
to
know
avoid
about
chafing.
that.
Before the closing of the...
What's Tuak doing there?
I don't. But okay, they grab halflings and then they run back to Isengard, which is their orders. Right. Yeah, but Frodo and Sam are getting away. But they don't know about Frodo and Sam. They think they've got the right halfling. They weren't given photos of Frodo and Sam and then put them next. No, this is not the right Hobbit. No.
They're orcs. They're not detectives.
But it's like there's no wanted posters of Frodo and Sam up in anywhere for them to go. An artist representation of the hobbits you need to grab.
Can you imagine having orc inquisitors and they're like hunting down hobbits, like seeking them out. They're trying to talk all polite and sophisticated. It's like, where are halfling people?
Halfling. Where is halfling? I don't know. You know where halfling is.
Tell us, or else we will get angry.
Me crunch up styrofoam cup. You're like, I don't know, the Shire, probably. That's where most of the halflings are. Shire too far for running.
Start running way back to Isengard, wasting all this time while Frodo, Sam, and the ring slip away.
Make sure your packs are secure to avoid chafing.
Before the closing of the Fellowship of the Ring, Sauron seems to sense Frodo one more time, and I'd like to think the Nazgul would have passed on their intel by now. They appear to be telepathically linked to their master, as evidenced at the...
Yeah, there is a slight problem with the Nazgul, even though they were driven off by Erwin or Galadriel, one of those elven chicks. But they just sort of give up. It's like keep going. It was close by.
Yeah, I think the magic around Rivendell is something that they can't get to. So there's that.
Oh, there it is, Mike Testa. Oh, there's the song. Yeah, where there's a whip, there's a way. We don't want to go to war today, but the Lord of the Lashes says, nay, nay, nay. We're going to march all day, all day, all day. Where there's a whip, there's a way. It's great. Yeah, great song.
Oh.
And they had the marching, like the walk cycle animation of all the 2D orcs. It was great. It was so well done. I loved it.
End of the... Even if they can't communicate with Sauron this far from the Eye, they're left with plenty of time to work with. Although Saruman has a direct line of communication with Sauron, he may secretly covet the ring for himself, as it was in the books, and so he may be choosing to withhold information from Sauron.
Alright then, keep your secrets.
But at this point, even without Saruman's intel, the logical conclusion that Sauron should be drawing is there's a ring quest heading southeast towards Mordor, probably looking to drop off the ring for a swim in Mount Doom.
Sounds like orc mischief to me.
Well, we have to be fair that Saruman takes the stage as pretty much the main villain throughout most of the books anyway, so...
Also, Sauron does prepare for people trying to get into Mordor, because they literally, the only way they get in is through a fucking tunnel that's guarded by a giant eldritch spider.
All right.
So tell me more how he's not prepared for someone coming with a quest to this. Mordor is a massive impregnable fortress. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Back in Isengard, Saruman decides to up production by building a ramshackle dam right behind their subterranean factories, which just can't be a good idea.
Build a dam, block the stream, work the furnaces.
He also starts feeding Fangorn Forest
but
to
he
his...
needs to... No, he's building the dam... Just... I'm not even argue this point.
This is the whole theme of technology. He's using all these destructive things against nature to use war, and that's the inspiration. Not the inspiration from World War II, but all the.
It's like what he saw with World War One, the destruction of fields and forests into like
for the war machine
battleground.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Furnaces. Wizards should know that land is occupied by powerful giants who are currently politically neutral. You may want to avoid pissing them...
Yeah, but because of the hobbits, they got them involved. So they were warning them of the death of the forest.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The Ents who are politically neutral decided to stay politically neutral, and the only reason why they get involved is because Merry and Pippin trick them into walking close to Isengard.
Right, and they would talk about their friends that they've lost because they were, where did my friends go? And they go to war and they flood the entire tower of
they flood everything.
The spire or whatever it's called.
Isengard.
Yeah.
Off, considering their proximity. Over in Rohan's capital, Edoras, Wormtongue, the most obvious deviant ever, has been running a con on the kingdom that includes pretending Saruman is still an ally.
Saruman the White has ever been our friend and ally.
But then, the White Wizard is sending his Uruk-hai into Rohan with his mark plastered all over them, which makes it difficult to keep that ruse going. And Saruman has been in the...
Yeah, your point is just ended immediately by saying that Théoden is actually under Saruman's control, so he doesn't need to be sneaky about it.
Yeah, so Saruman's manipulating the king here, and it's all because of magic. So there are other avenues that Sauron has to gain control of the land. And he's doing it one step at a time. It's not just brute force. He's got other means to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is cool. It's not just a war story. It's not just a violent war story.
Yeah. It's not just throwing armies at each other.
The magic is not always explosions and fire and lightning. It's subtle stuff. It's corruptible stuff that controls people's minds.
I mean, this is a really good scene. I really enjoyed the scene where they.
This is a great part of the story where Gandalf faces the king, and it was a kind of a funny scene because they ask Aragorn, like, you have to leave your weapons here, and Aragorn's like, well, if I leave this weapon here and you touch it, you will die. And I didn't know if that meant the sword is like if you touch it, you die, or if you.
It's gonna come back and beat the shit out of him.
He would come back like, did you take my sword?
Like, is it just like, was it a threat or is it a spell? It is funny.
Yeah, I never really understood that. And the other one with Gandalf was like, you would deny an old man his walking stick? You know, it's like he's a wizard.
They're like, yeah, go on then. Yeah. But I also like the fact that none of them have any weapons, and they still kick the shit out of everybody in the room.
Well, the thing with Gandalf is he has that was it Glamdring, where he could just summon it and it just comes out of nowhere. This massive longsword.
Yeah. But I also like the fact that Gandalf deliberately dressed up in grey to fool people.
Yeah, well,
in that scene.
Not too many. Not even us. We don't know exactly what Gandalf the White meant, because it's like you just died. Wait. Oh, wait. You can't die. Oh, you just come back to life all the time. All right.
No, there's. This is something else I got told by Zach and Bears and stuff. But Gandalf is pretty much. Gandalf the Grey is dead. Gandalf the White is someone completely different. I can't remember. It's complicated. But he's literally come back and he's replacing Sauron as like the White Wizard at this point in time. So that's why he's come back. God has literally said, no, you've got to go back.
I remember the way that we describe these characters. Like I always say, Gandalf is like Father Christmas, whereas Tom Bombadil is like Christmas itself. He's like the incarnation of Christmas. So there's all these understandings we have to like wrap our brains around. Like what exactly is Gandalf again? I don't know.
Yeah, with Gandalf, it was just literally like, God's literally gone to Santa Claus. No, you must go and deliver the present to the kids. Santa died fighting the Grinch. He came back. Something else. But I wonder where his next point's gonna go.
It's practically all is doing, but it all falls to ruin thanks to Wormtongue having made the mistake of sending a Rohirrim to disarm the visiting fellowship instead of one of his goth loyalists.
Fully armed and filthy.
Considering Saruman's influence over this court, I don't know why he didn't just command Wormtongue to open the gates in the night and let his forces in, long before this point.
Why can't we have some meat?
As a native horseman, Wormtongue doesn't truly want to see Rohan destroyed, but he's still willing to do anything to ride Eowyn.
You stink horse.
So Saruman is now forced to attack Helm's Deep, which is about as epic an encounter as we could have hoped for. The only criticism on daring to offer is their misuse of this substance that is the equivalent of gunpowder. Obviously, Saruman may not want Sauron to get his ghost hands on this tech, but at the very least they should be utilizing this throughout Saruman's army. Whoever manages to use this to its full potential is probably going to win the war for Middle-earth.
War is the province of men.
Which begs the question why our good guys aren't rocking any explosives, when at the very least Gandalf is aware of fireworks.
Yeah,
The one time we see this stuff in action, it's devastatingly effective. Though Saruman is lucky they were able to blow anything up, since they've got the ignition bright running all conspicuous with an Olympic torch full of sparklers, when there are dudes with flaming torches literally a couple of meters away. But it's all for naught anyway. Our heroes eventually saved by Gandalf's cavalry run.
It's more exciting to have a crazy orc suicide bomber dude holding a torch.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like this. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
Also, with this thing as well, it was like people seem to realize that you count how many people go on the final ride with Aragorn and Theoden against the orcs at this point. There's like 12 people, possibly. This really is a last-minute rescue with stuff. So. And it's kind of lucky that Gandalf found them and was able to convince them to come along and help. Because otherwise Helm's Deep would have been a defeat for humans and Rohan. You also have to remember that all the elves that they got sent as well are all dead now as well. So It's not. Yeah. Helm's Deep is a very tight battle. So, yeah.
Right, Saruman then gets his comeuppance for his poor decisions earlier. The surviving Uruk-hai forces from Helm's Deep, seemingly still too numerous to justify a retreat, are gobbled up by Fangorn. While Isengard itself comes under full assault, Saruman's only response is to have a panic attack, cowering in his tower, failing to cast a single spell against this onslaught. Meanwhile, Frodo has another close encounter with a Nazgul, confirming the ring is in Gondor, remarkably close to Mordor. Before we head into Return of the King, we kick things off by wallowing in the aftermath of the Battle of Isengard, with Saruman calming down enough to engage in a bit of verbal sparring before he finally decides to cast a spell, and it's a frickin' fireball. You know when that would have been really handy? Yesterday when we were fighting those highly flammable trees.
You're hopeless.
He then fails to watch his back around Wormtongue, who has lost the only thing that motivated him to align himself with Saruman in the first place. A bit of a redemption arc for Brad Dourif, which in terms of defying his typecast is about as much as he could hope for. Next up, Pippin has a run-in with the Dark Lord, who despite being a powerful spiritual entity, somehow managed to give away his battle plans. Props to Pippin for not giving anything away, but at this point, with a clear pattern of evidence about Frodo's intentions, Sauron shouldn't be in any doubt. The excuse for his perceived oversights naturally come from the novels. Supposedly blinded by his own overconfidence, it's suggested Sauron believes that no one could possibly overcome the corruptive powers of the ring, and he may also suspect the ring is on its way to Gondor and Aragorn, who he recognizes as the only real threat to his power, an idea that's hinted at in the Sauron-Pippin clash and a few other scenes from the movies.
Sauron fears you, Aragorn. He fears what you may become. We should seek to destroy it. It has not yet entered the darkest regions.
But this only creates another error in logic for Sauron. If he truly believes no one can resist the ring's power, why would he also believe someone would travel halfway across the world to give the ring to someone else? And even if your own headcanon can explain away all of Sauron's errors up until this point, I struggle to find anything that could justify his lack of precautions around Mordor and his actions going forward.
Looking to get past the Black Gate. You show the Black Gate!
What does he want exactly for precautions? Like, does he want like?
They're surrounded by huge mountains, and any entrance has got gates and forts, and there's forts within Mordor, and there's forts within forts, and there's a giant spider at the back door.
They have flying Nazguls. They have all these troops.
Yeah.
They have catapults. They have all kinds of giant. What are those? Golem? Not golems.
And you have Sauron's never-sleeping eye constantly scouring Mordor in case anybody's in there with the ring.
It's like it's his fortress. It's like he's pretty strong there. So.
Yeah. What more do you want? Well, he didn't have any nuclear weapons ready to blast Aragorn to hell or something. Well, no. He doesn't have a Death Star parked just in orbit.
Yeah, his eyeball is not a death laser. It's just an eye. Sorry.
Yeah, he's not well prepared. By the way, here's a shot showing a fucking massive gate.
Yeah, why didn't he develop the Eye of Nod from Command and Conquer? Why didn't he make other weapons? Where are his tanks? Why did he make tanks?
Where's his M1 Abrams? Where are all these? Where's his Tiger tanks? Where's all these weapons?
Where's Panther 2s? Come on.
What more do you want?
Yeah.
Luckily, there's an inadequately guarded mountain pass that'll lead you right into Mordor.
Inadequately guarded mountain pass? Okay, apart from the giant fucking spider. That is literally like an eldritch abomination. Oh. Yeah, but there wasn't two of them, so he wasn't fully prepared.
Let's make the conflicts of Frodo impossible. Like, there's no possibility of him ever getting around this mountain and climbing it while he's severely incapacitated and pretty much drugged because he can barely walk.
Oh, by the way, also, but the spider works because Frodo gets stabbed and poisoned and everything like that. So it did work. It's only because Sam came back and used the magic light thing. I'm sorry I called it magic light. I know it's going to annoy people in the chat, but that's how I remember it.
Oh, Sting?
No, the little flask light thing that he got given in Fellowship.
Oh, okay. All right. I remember what you're saying. Yeah, they also got the bread. That was the one thing they're like, oh, this is good food, but we don't really have any solid meals. And he was like, let's make a fire. let's cook some soup, some rabbit soup. And you're like, oh,
yeah,
great idea, Sam.
Yeah,
that'll attract everyone.
yeah, but the spider works because the spider it worked until Sam came along. So what? Fucking, he's not prepared enough. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the cliffs of the mountain aren't steep enough.
I mean, look how steep this fucking thing is. Look at it. You've got to climb that.
It's a garden path, I tell you.
It's a stroll to the local shops. That's it.
And then Frodo breaks down because he's too weak, and Sam has to carry the guy.
Yeah. Oh my God. What more does this guy want Sauron to have?
Frodo needs to lose his legs first, and then it's more believable. He has to get amputated.
Yeah. All that's left of Frodo is literally his head and the top of his shoulders. Then it's believable that Sauron's prepared.
It's like the ring was weighing him down physically and mentally so much. It's like no, he has to struggle more. It's like okay.
Yeah, and then he had to run past a giant spider, and then he gets captured, and Sam has to go into a fort to rescue him, and they've got to keep dodging just tons of orcs and goblins and uruk-hais and everything, and it's just yeah, we can carry on. I just
Big Root Infiltration Mission by Little Folk. Though Frodo is eventually scooped up by some orcs, it's through no skill of their own, taking him to yet another tower as if he didn't have...
So you're just going to skip the giant spider that's there to put your point across? You fucking liar. That's disingenuous.
So the fact he gets captured is, that's pretty much game over. And then, how do you escape?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but the point is, he goes, he's not prepared. Look, Sam and Frodo get in, but you're just dodging the spider that stops Frodo. Yeah, well, that doesn't matter. So he's just lied about how bad the defenses are. Nothing is independent.
But thankfully, our real hero Sam has pocketed the ring, and a bit of infighting between the orcs and black uruks clears the place out almost completely, allowing him to mount a rescue mission. Dressing up as the most unconvincing orcs I've ever seen, but apparently enough to trick these idiots.
We're innocent travelers!
Meanwhile, Sauron opts for a surprise attack on Osgiliath by lighting up the river with torchlight on their approach.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Before unleashing his Gammy army on Minas Tirith, led by the Witch King, the same guy who had Frodo at his mercy, yet did everything but grab the ring before being scared off by one dude. Do you really want this slow coward leading your forces?
Bring wood and oil.
Seriously,
you just called the Witch King a coward. He just called the Witch King a coward. Yeah. The Witch King is a coward.
He's apparently scared of fire, but not so much. I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah, but the Witch King stands up to Gandalf in the extended edition of this movie,
right.
which he's referring, because he's taking clips out of the extended edition as well. So I know he's watched it.
Right.
So he shatters Gandalf's staff. So yeah, that's something the coward do.
You may want with that.
The closer we are to danger, the further we are from harm.
After mopping up Sauron's forces at Minas Tirith, Aragorn runs a brazen attack on the Black Gate in an effort to create a diversion.
Yeah, but did you not see the fucking ghosts there? It's pretty hard to win a battle against ghosts. No, you just get how can Sauron fight ghosts?
Well,
seriously,
he is a disembodied voice himself, so maybe he has some anti-ghost.
Yeah, but how he's got an army of orcs versus ghosts? What the hell are you meant to do?
For Frodo, Sauron falls for it hook, line and sinker, clearing out every single one of his soldiers from Mordor, despite possessing crushing numbers of troops compared to Aragorn. And there's no reason for Sauron to think Aragorn has the ring at this point, because the mouth of Sauron is well aware Frodo has been found, bluffing about his fate in an attempt to demoralize our heroes.
Know that he suffered greatly at the hands of his host.
5 minutes after, the sometimes seeing eye spotted a very alive Frodo a stone's throw from Mount Doom. And if he can't see Frodo from this distance, then what the hell is the point of this thing? Sauron should be panic stations right about now. He is yet to receive the ring, and the halfling he has previously seen with it is loose in Mordor. But he still doesn't devote any forces to shore up Mount Doom. Nope, not a single solitary orc.
Foreseen and done nothing.
Not to mention the apparently psychic link between Sauron, the Ring, and Frodo. Are you not even getting a tingle right about now? So completely unimpeded, in the very heart of Sauron's empire, Frodo and co are free to crawl into the hilariously named Crack of Doom.
Which is of course ridiculous.
Sauron's lack of security and possible overconfidence punishing him severely.
No, you've skipped a really important part.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember they mirrored the scene with Isildur where he holds the ring and goes, "Oh, I'm going to hold on to this," and he walks out, which is pretty much what Frodo was about to do.
Have you paused the video, Smud?
It's paused.
Hold on. I've got to read you on the watch together because the video was carry on playing while you were talking. Then sorry. Oh. What did you say? Yeah, for me, for some reason, it was still playing.
I remember I think Elrond was doing a flashback of Isildur where they're in the same platform where Frodo is now.
Position.
Yeah, and Isildur takes the ring and he walks off with it. And you're like, oh, and that's what Frodo's about to do. Yeah, so Frodo's about to do exactly the same thing, and that's when we have...
Yeah, so Sauron was right.
Yeah.
Sauron was right. The corruptibility of the ring is just, it's perfect. It works. It's fine. Yeah. It corrupted Frodo. It's only because Gollum bit his finger off and fell into the thing.
Gollum is so jealous and crazy over the ring.
Yeah. But here's the thing. How could you possibly know that two people would fight over the ring in Mount Doom?
But even then,
once, because the person who's fighting against the person who wants to throw it in, if they win, they don't want to destroy the ring.
Yeah, they both want it, right?
So they'll go. The person who wants to throw it in might be corrupted. Will definitely be corrupted before he throws it in because it's what happens. So it's like, yeah, they can fight over it. The only reason it works is because Gollum slips into the lava. Because Frodo happened to they fight and both fall off. While Frodo manages to grab onto the ledge, Gollum plummets.
It's essentially an accident. Yeah, that's how they won.
Yeah, by accident. So Sauron has to plan for accidents. Sauron is stupid because he didn't think two short people would bite each other's fingers off and fall into the lava. Oh my god! You can't plan for that. You can't plan.
So he has this massive war army. He's got all these minions, all these wizards he's controlling, undead witches and flying creatures
Yeah.
and Balrogs and all kinds of crazy evil creatures that he's manipulating, and he's himself undead. He's in the spirit realm or whatever. And he's already enacting his plan throughout the land. And he can't control,
He's
obviously.
so close to winning.
Yeah. Because the closer that Frodo gets to Mount Doom, he's also not too far away from where Sauron's tower is. So.
And the power of the ring, the corrupting influence of the ring gets stronger and stronger.
Right.
So it's. This is really. Oh my god. I swear, if I knew more about the lore of Lord of the Rings with like the deep lore of the books, I'd probably rip him more hair out. But you can't say that Sauron's an idiot because he didn't plan for an accident. Accidental suicide.
It is kind of ironic that someone who was so corrupted by the ring, which was an actual hobbit before, ended up being its downfall, or ending up being his destruction, because he was, if there's anyone who wanted the ring, it was Gollum. Like, that was the one creature who wanted it the most of all. And he got it, just, for that few seconds until he, melted.
Burned to death. Yeah. Until he Epsteined himself.
Oops.
While Sauron is technically right about the ring's corruptive abilities, he obviously didn't account for the range of possible scenarios that could see the ring destroyed. It's the ring, of course there could be a bit of a tussle, and he was acting all shook the moment Frodo put the ring on in Mount Doom, so he seems to be aware its destruction is possible. There are many powerful, intelligent people who want this ring destroyed, so there are probably other scenarios that would have worked too.
To say that it is impossible is an exaggeration.
Yeah, the obvious option. Give those lazy eagles a crack at it.
We come to it at last.
Supposedly, they're too proud, stubborn, or scared of those foul beasts to drop the ring at Mount Doom. Yet they're showing up at an active battlefield at the 11th hour, absolutely sassing their counterparts. So a high-altitude stealth mission could...
But you see later on in the battle that, like,
This is not an argument against Sauron. This is like...
Sauron. Yeah, I know.
This is an argument...
I'm now arguing lore of Lord of the Rings with this guy.
Yeah,
I'm just like, oh my god.
The Eagles are really powerful, and it's kind of a problem with... I think someone made a few YouTube videos about this because everyone was arguing about it. They're so powerful. They're so wise. They have all this magic, yada, yada, yada. Why couldn't they have solved the problem? And the thing is, they just don't care. The same with Tom Bombadil. They just they have their own world. Yeah. They're not concerned with the problems of man, and it takes a lot of effort to get them to do anything. So this
but also it's the fact that they'd be flying. They'd have to fight the fell beast, and it's still something of like it's still an open attack. So it's also, if you watch the movie, the Eagles only stay until they are only like just drawing the fell beast off. They're not winning the fight, by the way. If you actually watch the movie, they're not winning the fight against the Witch Kings and the whatever. The Nazgul. Sorry, I'll say the right thing.
Yeah, their vision was so powerful they could see through all physical matter except the blackness of Morgoth's evil pits. Like, there's just like these amazingly overpowered flying machines.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they still fear the ring because of the corruptive nature. Because even Gandalf, the purest of pure people, doesn't go near the ring because it could corrupt him. That's the problem with the ring. It's so corruptive. So it's only because Frodo says he will do it that people are agreeing to this plan. So but also this with Eagles means nothing about Sauron.
Yeah, it's kind of like saying we have this extremely powerful being. Why didn't he plan for their involvement? It's like, well,
but he probably did. He probably did plan for it.
Well, he has his own flying beasts himself, that the ring wraiths. So he has arrows. He's got all these weapons. I mean, they would effectively harm an eagle. So I'm not seeing exactly what the argument is, aside from why didn't the heroes do this?
Just because you didn't see, Sauron's plan for what to do against the eagles doesn't mean he didn't have a plan for the eagles. Aragorn didn't use a submarine. Doesn't mean he didn't have a plan for naval warfare.
Well, it's kind of silly because we're talking about an espionage mission, like sneaking in. Mm-hmm. If you have a giant eagle flying, like he's like, oh, and I have a tower, that's looking around for the ring. It's like, what's that flying thing over there?
So what's that flying formation?
Giant eagle
eagles coming straight for me. Is that Gandalf riding one of them?
I'm sure there are other arguments and lore reasons why it didn't happen, but this is not an argument for the stupidity of Sauron. This is more or less the heroes. Lack of strategy or whatever we could say.
It's just not part of the hero's plan. So, yeah. Also, I have to remind people, Sauron is 99% of the way to winning at this point. To be honest with you, he's won. It's only Gollum's intervention in Mount Doom that means he loses.
I think the eagles only come in after the ring is destroyed too.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to recall because I'm sure they had arrows. I'm sure they had magic still. They could have brought down eagles from the sky. Plus, in order for the eagles to do anything, they have to come down. So all you're talking about is a giant target that's just suddenly on the battlefield. It's like, okay, we could hit that no problem. Same with the orcs, the giant. Massive. What were they? Were they orcs? What the hell were they called?
Which one?
The giant evil creatures that had the drums and whatever. The clubs.
Oh, the trolls.
Trolls, those are big targets. Yeah. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Imagine an eagle that is not exactly as strong as a troll. So.
Oh yeah. There's gonna be tons of arrows in that bird.
Yeah. Anyway, there's lots of reasons to and not to have eagles, and this is not an argument against Sauron. Anyway, let's just keep going. Yeah. We're almost done anyway.
Yeah. Definitely a fuck. Let's just hope the eagles are beyond corruption, because that would be a nightmare.
Blimey, you fools.
Or perhaps you could get the most pious bunch of heroes you can muster, and if the ring bearer won't throw it in, then just push the bastard off, like Elrond should have done all those years ago. I don't care if it would have started a war.
Well, if only Elrond just knocked him into the lava. It's like, yeah, thank you.
I want to end this war. I don't care if it starts another war.
Where's our king? I don't know.
He fell into the fire and just. He wrote
this around. Note. He disappeared. He must have fell in the fire. I don't know.
Don't worry about it.
He gave me this note. It reads, "I don't want to live anymore, so I'm gonna jump off into some lava. Bye."
Oh, by the way, I also threw the ring in the fire. You're welcome. Goodbye.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye. Also, I give Elrond all my worldly possessions. I don't care if it starts another war. Okay, bro. That is not an excuse to push someone into a.
Yeah, we need more animosity between the humans and the elves, guys. It's...
Yeah, because it was going so well before.
Oh boy.
And it would seem distant but for the warning in my heart.
And note how both Sam and Elrond were able to resist the power of the ring from a distance, even when it was in great danger.
Okay, yeah, but they haven't been corrupted by it at all, because they haven't been holding it the entire time.
How long does Isildur have the ring for as well? He has it for what? Not even like a couple of hours, like an hour maybe, from defeating Sauron to getting up to this point, and it's already corrupted him.
Right.
That's how easy it is, and even Elrond would probably get corrupted.
Luckily,
just as quickly.
The minds of hobbits are humble, so they're not. Their ambitions aren't driving them nuts, which was why they chose hobbits in the first place.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Plus, it took a while to get to Mount Doom. One of the arguments is, well, why didn't the eagles just fly them halfway? It's like, well, yeah, but then you wouldn't have a story. So you have to.
Also, Sauron has spies everywhere.
Yeah, you have to be careful with these. I wouldn't say Deus Ex devices, but these solutions that are like, oh, we have eagles. Like, oh, why didn't? Like, you have to explain why they weren't involved earlier.
But also remember, why don't just kill everybody?
Why not
but
just
also
kill
in the
everybody
Fellowship,
right at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, but also in the Fellowship, he has those crows. Remember that scene where he's got those crows that are his spies? So he's got animals like birds flying around, spying for him. So if the eagles are flying people, they'll get noticed. There's a lot. Tolkien did put in a lot of things to like say why these things happen. So, yeah.
Well, again,
but the ring's really corruptive. I can't stress this enough. How much corruptive power this ring has on people, elves, and all and sundry.
Yeah, it's basically a mind control device, and it's always controlled by.
Also, Sam refuses to pick up the ring. As in, like, once he gives it back to Frodo, he's like, I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you.
Right.
It's like, Sam doesn't really want to be holding onto the ring at all. So, there's that.
Which lends itself to the idea that a group of people could complete this quest, mount the ring on an arrow, then put a blade to the throat of a blindfolded archer tasked with firing it, and a blade to the swordsman's throat, etc. Or put the ring in the pocket of a blindfolded orc, then trick him into walking the plank. Okay, take those last few ideas with a grain of salt, but the point is, there are probably other ways to tip this thing over the edge that don't rely on happenstance.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
So with the ring's destruction seemingly coming down to a matter of fate, Middle-earth can finally know peace. Saved by a sweet-talking yet impotent wizard. An unlikely duo of sadistic dude bros united by their mutual love of killing.
I'm on 17!
A wannabe king with an elven fetish.
That's kind of charming. I like the fact that they're slaughtering.
Yeah.
Orcs.
Yeah, I know. God, those warriors, they've got this unhealthy obsession with killing people. Yeah, but whoever says, wow, I can't believe those people who are killing orcs have this unhealthy obsession with killing orcs. Well, yeah, that's kind of important. I'm glad they're killing a lot of orcs.
They're stopping the bad guys.
I've never heard someone describe Legolas as a dude bro.
I've never heard them describe Legolas and Gimli as dude bros either. So.
It's nice to keep score when you're doing a fun thing, and that's winning. A war. Orcs
aren't seen as people anyway, so it doesn't matter.
They're basically bred to kill humans. I think it's okay to feel good about stopping them.
Yeah. Oh no, those poor orcs. I care about their feelings. No, just shoot the fucker in the face with an arrow. I don't care.
Flood them, burn them, chop them. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Gimli literally cuts an orc's genitals off pretty much in 2 towers with his axe. I don't care. Just kill him.
And a few hobbits and the power of friendship, but with a prequel Lord of the Rings series on the horizon. It'll be interesting to see whether any of Sauron's eras will be retconned or perhaps added to. Whatever the case, it's safe to say the real Lords of the Rings will always be those who keep on cashing in.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for and don't forget to like.
Alright.
Yeah.
He makes some good points, but there's a lot of near the end, a lot of weird takes. You're like, I don't know about that. Doesn't really apply.
Oh my god. Smud, have you seen what Bears has been making?
What?
The memes.
The memes? Is it meme time?
Yes. The memes. Oh my god. Oh
memes.
My god. I don't know if he sent you stuff, but he sent me so many that I'm just like, oh my god, what the hell's going on here?
Let's see what we got. Let me see if I can pull these up. This is gonna take some time.
Yeah.
Does he have like Photoshop or something? How does it fast as he makes these things? Holy crap.
I don't know. He just does these things. I just looked on my he just messaged me. I'm like, oh my god, how many have you got?
The Fellowship of the Smud. What's going on here? We got LitDev. We got, I think that's Mark. There's Voice.
Mark.
There's Bears. Yeah. There's Mateus. We got Wisp. We got, I think that's Gingaman.
Yeah.
And the other one is, I think that's Chibi.
Eric Wright.
Yeah. No. That's Chibi Cecil. I think that's.
What, the White Spider-Man one?
No. That's Gingaman, I think.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, I think that's Gingaman. Or no, maybe the Chibi Cecil's Gingaman. I can't remember which one's which. I know he changed it up previously. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it's Eric Wright.
It's Eric Wright. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay. Got some more here.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me some time. I gotta load them up.
Mm-hmm.
Load them up.
Yeah, if people were saying, "Wow, Hawk isn't even in the Fellowship," yeah, it's fine. I didn't want to be part of it anyway. Gay.
Here's Hawk as. Is that Aragorn? I think so. Can't quite tell.
Probably not, since you're Aragorn.
Oh. Well, someone's, I don't know, something like that. I can't tell.
What? Who am I? I'm
No, on the screen right now.
Yeah, I'm just looking at. Who is? It's not. No, it's not Theoden. It's Faramir. Is it Faramir? People say it's Faramir. No. Faramir? No, Punished Bearserker says it's Faramir. I'm Faramir.
Okay, here is Zach.
Okay, I'm okay with that. Yeah, cheers.
Here's Zach. I don't know. Who the hell is that? I can't quite know.
Elrond.
That's Elrond?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Zach is Elrond.
Oh, Punished Bearserker says it's not Faramir, it's Hawkemir.
What? Hawkemir. Oh, this next one is wrong. This is wrong. I don't know who did what. This is. Oh, I don't know. I'm already feeling bad about this one.
Is it what I think it's gonna be?
Oh God.
That is Crazy Philosopher, and I think that's Maggie Mayfish. I think.
What?
I don't know what's going on.
It's not cool. It's not. Crazy Philosopher as Theoden and Maggie Mayfish as Wormtongue. That's great. Oh, that's funny. Oh no. Oh.
All right, here is what the hell, Rambo? What is that? I can't quite tell.
Is it Bilbo's Rambo?
What is this?
I'm not sure.
Oh, it's artwork.
Hold on, where are you guys? Where are you guys seeing the pictures?
It's on the stream. Yeah.
No, I know it's on the stream, but is it? Isn't it in one of the Discord channels?
Yeah, I think it's on. Which way you get them from?
I'm just looking at the YouTube video. I'm just looking at the YouTube stream.
So here is.
Because I don't know what channel this is.
David DeSolo, Hobbits in Chains. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Okay, that's interesting.
Rambilbo.
It's a great song. You guys should go check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. Oh, these are great, but yeah, Bears does really well with this. I just kept getting messages. It just kept popping up. I was like, "What's Bears like trying to tell me stuff about Lord of the Rings?" I'll have a check, and I just kept looking, and it was just more and more memes. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Oh, here it is. It's in the Smudcast discussion. I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
All right.
Oh dear.
I think we've exhausted our media for the day. That wasn't so bad. I actually enjoyed the video. I don't know about the style of presentation. It's kind of like, and this is what happens, and then this happens, and then it's a very straightforward, matter of fact. There's no argument. It's just this happens, and you're like, oh, really? And then he just jumps into Skillshare or whatever. He wants to make you a website or something. What the hell? It was so random. So, yeah, a bunch of guys talking about Lord of the Rings that don't really know Lord of the Rings. There you have it, folks. Fun.
Yay.
Smudcast. Oi. I like the movies. They're great. The books are great too. I just can't read them. They're too long. They're too big. Takes a lot out of me.
Yeah, it was okay. I know people want to say, yeah, but it's comedy, but I'm like, yeah, but he put forward the arguments. I'm allowed to say no, these arguments aren't arguments, and defend Sauron. Yeah. If you're gonna make something like this, it's just like I'm allowed to say I don't approve of it. But fucking hell, he's got no defense. What, like giant spiders don't count as defense?
Yeah, they sort of missed a few things and details of the actual major conflicts.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Like when Frodo gets poisoned and Aragorn gets hurt by the sword. I mean, there's all sorts of things that. No, sorry, it wasn't Aragorn. Was it Pippin or who got cut? Who got stabbed by the sword that got? It was one of the hobbits, I thought. And he
got stabbed by what?
One of the Nazgul blades, and it was.
Oh, that's Frodo.
Was it Frodo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fellowship. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Trying to remember which hobbit it was.
Yeah, but sure, I'm because Matthias was saying there's a few people who were saying like people don't get jokes. Obviously, with us, it's like that's not a good enough excuse for us not to criticize this video. I don't do jokes.
All facts, no jokes.
I'm just facts, no jokes. Facts save lives. What do jokes do? Nothing.
What is this, a comedy show? We're trying to make you laugh? Are we here to entertain you?
Yeah. I'm not here to make you laugh. I'm here to tell you how to do things right.
All right. Well, I think
Jordan Kells has just said it perfectly. Disingenuous arguments, comedy.
Yeah, well. It's a fun. I like the format. I'm just not so sure about the tone. That's fine. It's entertaining. It's good enough. That's cool.
It was fun. I'm sure his other videos were quite good because I know he did one on Umbrella, and that really is an organization that's too stupid to exist.
Oh right, the Resident Evil. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can understand that one. With Sauron, it's just a bit like there's too much you can argue backwards and forwards.
Well, the problem is the focus of Sauron goes away. And once you have other second or third parties enacting the will of the guy, it's like, well, it's no longer his will. It's everyone else's follies and foibles and whatever they do. So that's just how it goes. It's really, it's like the German party or the German army. It's like the strategy can only go so far. Like you can only do so much. Could they have won the war? Possibly, if they had these amazing intel and could see far beyond what their enemies were doing. Sure. And there were lots of victories by the German armies in World War II. So that's not.
It's called literally 1939 to 1944.
Yeah, they were winning.
Yeah, they were winning constantly. Like literally, the Allies' only victories came against Japan and the Italians.
Well, they tried to invade Russia, and that didn't go so well.
Well, no, Russia went fine until the winter came along.
Oh, wow. Yeah. They blitzkrieged London. Anyway, they blitzkrieged all kinds of places. Yeah, they did a very efficient job.
They didn't blitzkrieg London. It was called the Blitz, but it wasn't blitzkrieg.
Well, they bombed it. I don't know what parts, but
they bombed it, and nothing of value was lost. So
okay, so it wasn't a blitzkrieg. They just bombed London. Whatever. There's nothing to target. It's like we just bombed it. Yeah.
And everyone outside of London was like, phew, at least it's them getting bombed, not the rest of us.
Okay. I'll just ask my surviving family of my music teacher who was in World War II. It's like, yeah, they bombed London. It's like, no, they didn't. It's no big deal. Okay.
Well, they did worse to Coventry.
Yeah, they attacked other places too, I know.
No, but Coventry was actually pretty much like sacrificed by the British government and bombed to smithereens because they didn't want to give up the fact that they managed to break the Enigma machine. The British government knew the Germans were coming to Coventry, but had to keep quiet and let them bomb it.
Really? Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is not a stream about war, at least real war. We were talking about.
Why not? Sauron was warring all over. If only we had a giant defending Coventry, the Germans would never have got through.
They can only sacrifice a mini Mordor. They'd be fine. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Have yourself a great day, and we'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye now.